Hello, welcome to Biology with Miss Rinki. So in today's video, we are going to study how exactly does blood clotting take place. Now let's understand what exactly happens and what plays a role in the clotting of blood. Okay, so our topic for today is going to be what? Coagulation or also called as what? Clotting, right? So clotting of blood. Yeah. Now, whenever a person is wounded, all right, or the blood vessel which is there, all right, gets injured, then what happens? The platelets, all right, as you know, the blood is made up of what? Red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and what? The plasma, right? So the platelets which are there, all right, whenever a blood vessel is injured, they are the ones which come in contact, all right, with the injured tissue and gets what? Activated. Okay, so I'll write down platelets come in contact with injured tissue and it gets activated. Okay, so what happens is the activated platelet, so the blood platelets which are there, they are disintegrated and they are released. Okay, and once they are released, they come in contact with the injured tissue and they get what? Activated. Okay, so what we have is activated platelets. Now when we say activated platelets, okay, sorry, all right, so what exactly do? They release a substance. Okay, they release a substance which is made up of it's lipid and protein based. Okay, and the substance it releases is known as what? Thromboplastin. Fine. This thromboplastin which is there, all right, further with the help of calcium, okay, with the help of what? Calcium, very important, with the help of calcium, all right, converts, all right, it forms an enzyme. Okay, and that enzyme which it produces is known as what? Prothrombin. Okay, the enzyme. Okay, that's the enzyme which is produced also. Or some of the books also says, okay, it produces what? Thrombokinase enzyme. What does it produce? Thrombokinase enzyme. Now you'll be wondering, what exactly does this prothrombinase enzyme do? What exactly happens? This prothrombinase enzyme which is there, all right, it basically inactive, because you know heparin is a substance which is there in our blood which doesn't allow the blood to clot in a blood vessel, right? It's very important to have heparin in your blood. Otherwise, there will be blood clotting and blood will not flow properly. The new glucose and nutrients will not flow properly. All right. So what does it do? This prothrombinase kinase, which is there, okay, what does it do? It inactivates heparin. What does it do? It inactivates what? Heparin. And what does it lead to? It actually leads to, and it does the work of catalysis. Okay, what does this enzyme do? It does the work of one. It inactivates what? Inactivates heparin, which is the anticoagulant. Okay, which doesn't allow the blood to clot. And now we want the blood to clot, right? So that heparin has to be inactivated, all right, and it catalyzes what? It catalyzes, so there's prothrombin Okay. Prothrombin is the one, all right, is the one which is synthesized where in the liver. Where is it synthesized? Prothrombin, it is synthesized where in the liver. Okay, where is it synthesized? In the liver. And remember, vitamin K which is there, all right, vitamin K which is there is very essential for the synthesis of prothrombin, all right. So for blood clotting also, vitamin K is again an essential factor which is required, all right. So what we have is, what is required for prothrombin? Vitamin K, all right. So vitamin K is very essential, all right, for prothrombin, which is synthesized where in the liver, all right. Prothrombin, which is there, all right, which is further catalyzed by prothrombinase enzyme, all right, and in the presence of again calcium ions, all right, gets converted into what? Thrombin. What does it get converted into? Thrombin, all right. This thrombin, which is there, all right, further, all right, catalyzes the next reaction, all right. It brings about depolymerization. It brings about what? Depolymerization of what? Fibrinogen. What does it bring about? Depolymerization of what? Fibrinogen. Okay. What does it bring about? Depolymerization of what? Fibrinogen. Okay. It brings about depolymerization of what? Of the fibrinogen, all right. And that fibrinogen which is there, all right, gets converted into what? Fibrin. Okay, that fibrinogen which is there, all right. So that is a soluble plasma protein. What is a fibrinogen? It is a soluble plasma protein. Okay, and that soluble plasma protein which is there, all right, fibrinogen is a soluble plasma protein. Okay, and that gets converted into what? Fibrin. Okay, so this is soluble, all right, gets converted what? Into fibrin, which is going to be what? Insoluble. That is going to be what? Insoluble now, all right. That gets converted into what? Fibrin, all right. And this fibrinogen gets converted into what? Fibrin, all right. And what does this fibrin do? Very, very, very important. This fibrin which is there, all right, they are nothing but fibers. They are like fiber, like polymers, all right. And they are the ones, I'll write down here, this fibrin which is there, okay, which is formed, all right, which is like a thread like structures, will come in contact with what? With the blood corpuscles, that is red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, which are what? The formed elements, all right. What are they? They're the formed elements, all right, of your blood cells, all right. All right. So fibrin plus the formed elements which are there, all right, they are the ones which actually give rise to what? They are the ones which gives rise to what? The clot. All right. They give rise to what? The clot is being formed. And remember, the clot which is there, all right, is also known as what? Thrombus. What is it also known as? What? Thrombus. Thrombus means what? Solid mass. Okay. And that's how solid mass is being produced. All right. So remember, very important, revise again. Once a person is wounded, the platelets are activated from the blood vessel. They go towards the wounded region and thromboplastin, which is there, is released. That along with calcium, all right, what does it release? It releases an enzyme, and that enzyme which is there is known as what? Prothrombinase. What is it known as? Prothrombinase, all right. What does it do? It inactivates the heparin, all right, and catalyzes. You know, heparin needs to be stopped, inactivated, because otherwise it will not allow clotting only. And we want the blood to clot. We don't want the person to wound. This whole process generally takes around 2 to 6 minutes. Okay, it takes around what? 2 to 6 minutes. All right. And it activates the heparin, catalyzes, and the prothrombin, which is synthesized in the liver because of the vitamin K, all right, gets activated, and in the presence of calcium gets converted to thrombin. Thrombin converts the fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is what is the substance which is present in what in the plasma of the blood. So it's a soluble plasma protein and gets converted to what? Fibrin, which is insoluble, all right? And fibrin along with the formed elements, all right, blood cells, what does it give rise to? The clot or what? Thrombus, which is a solid mass, all right? So that's how exactly the whole process of clotting of blood takes place. Once the clot is formed, later your white blood cells, all right, the eosinophils, I'll just write down some extra information. Eosinophils, which are there, all right, of your white blood cells, they are the ones which later dissolve the blood clots, okay? After few days, okay, whatever clots are being formed, okay, that will be dissolved by the eosinophils. So this is the whole process of what coagulation of blood. And vitamin K is very important. Why? Because the substance prothrombin is important and which is synthesized in the liver, and that takes place. Why? Because of the vitamin K. All right. So this is the whole process of clotting of blood. I hope you understood this concept. Until we meet again, thank you.